Hey, everybody.
Hey everyone, how's it going? You
Guys,
guys are amazing.
you're amazing.
Welcome to Don't Worry Wednesday. It's late. We understand.
We're
Hey,
sorry. That's my
guys.
fault. You can blame it on me. Even though I got here when it was 8:30. I don't know why. Oh, yeah. Jesse's computer decided it didn't want to work. That's what it was.
Yeah,
You can't blame it on me anymore. I figured it out. It was Jesse.
we were dealing with technical difficulties, and when I say we, I mean he,
Yeah, just you,
Jesse.
Jesse, because we don't actually have any control over the technical salvations.
Right. I point that direction and he's not there.
I'm wondering why that direction myself.
I just noticed he's not sitting next to me over there. And that's not even south. I just pointed north.
Uh-oh, snap. You got to point the opposite
I got
direction.
to point south. He's that way because he's
You're off by like 17 degrees. You're gonna have to shift it just a little bit. Yeah, you
ah
pointed at a different Jesse. Maybe it's in
okay.
Georgia.
All right.
I don't know.
Well, at any rate, this is Don't Worry Wednesday. You guys know. This is the show where we handle concerns of yours. You just post them in the chat and we talk about, we try to offer some perspective, some friendly advice if we can. We're not therapists and our content's not a substitute for professional counseling, but we just really hope that we can offer some encouragement as you journey through these challenges. We fully believe that you're capable and smart enough to figure these things out. But sometimes when you're in the midst of the battle, it can be really foggy, and you need an outside perspective to just kind of clear things up a little bit. So we've had lots of people do that for us. We've gone through many, many, many challenges in our lives, and that I guess that's kind of what makes us any good at this at all is that we've handled some stuff. So yeah, I'm seeing a lot of great people on the chat tonight. You guys are awesome, and really glad to have you here. So yeah, so welcome again. How are you, Ryan? Oh, I'm your host, Joe, and our illustrious producer is Jesse.
Yes.
And da, 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 da,
Yo,
we've got Ryan
that's
in
right.
the house tonight.
I'm not Corey in the house. I'm the regular Ryan in the house. Don't get us
He's
confused.
he's in the house. He's in his house, not mine.
The house.
And Bree, yes, you are a great person. We love you, Bree.
Yeah, we love you, Bree. Don't say mean things about you.
That's right.
We're gonna have to see now. That's weird because like when someone's bullying somebody, like you're like you become confrontational and you're like, hey, stop bullying this person. I'll get in your face. But then what if the person bullying them is themselves? Then what do? You get in their face and you're like, yo, you better stop bullying yourself or I'm gonna slap you. But then I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to slap you because you did nothing wrong. But no, you have to stop bullying yourself.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Throw some snaps in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I think it's going to be a fun time tonight. So, we've got some questions from before. Let's see. I noticed that Kayla is here.
Yep. We have a question. I dropped the ball and I forgot to post it.
Hey,
it was an anonymous. I believe I forgot to post this anonymous one.
Okay. Was
yeah.
Wait. My place in the world one?
Nope. That's not it.
Because we do.
Okay.
We do know. Oh yes. Kayla, happy birthday. I know it's late. I wished you a happy birthday on your birthday, but now that we're live on the street, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Kayla.
And
Congratulations.
Yes, and apparently, according to the community at bss.studio, which is where you all should go and be members of, and join the forums and all that kind of stuff. 15 is halfway to old.
That's the statement. 15 is halfway to old.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm almost old. I'm one way away.
Old is 30.
Dang.
I think that's why I stayed 29 for so long.
Yeah,
because I was
that's
afraid of being
probably why.
old. But then I was like, wait a second, you know what? Then I read a great book called Think and Grow Rich, and he talked about ultra successful people, and you look at their lives and you notice that they didn't really achieve anything until they were 40. And I was like, what? That means I'm just hitting my prime, baby. So now you all know how old I am. And now you can be like, oh my gosh, you're like really old and decrepit.
So you're saying it's better to be old than it is to be young, because when you're old, you are getting closer to your moment of success, statistically speaking.
Statistically speaking, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. But anyway, that's the birthday banter that was going on at bss.studio. So go there. You guys are awesome. And I don't know, who do you want to start with? Kayla's?
I'm currently posting the other comment that I forgot to post. But yeah, let's start with Kayla's. I think that's a good idea.
Okay. We can start with Kayla's. I might have to change the theme here so I can read a little bit better this theme. It's kind of weird. Okay, that's better. Okay. Kayla posted this question on the last Don't Worry Wednesday, and we did not have time to get to it. So we're going to get to it today because we promised, and she's here. So Kayla writes to us, so all this week, my dad was away on a business trip, so my mom stayed with us for the week. Of course, that meant constant bickering and her picking fights every which way. Finally, yesterday, I had had enough, and I yelled at her to just stop. She then went on to say, your family is terrified of you, even though I asked each member of my family myself, they feel no fear towards me. She then continued attacking me, saying, you wonder why you don't have friends, and you wonder why I hate you. I ended up cutting pretty bad after she left. She made me feel so worthless. She's really angry with me because I got Child Protective Services called on her and my dad because I didn't eat for 4 days and made the mistake of telling my school counselor when I was feeling weak. Oh my. They're coming on Monday, which also happens to be my 15th birthday. I feel a little joy about my birthday because it doesn't feel right to celebrate another year of me living. I know it's just hard to feel when my mom is so good at making me feel worthless. Something to add on to my question, I don't really want to celebrate my birthday. The one thing I want for my birthday is to meet Ryan or Joe, and I know that's never going to happen. So, ... And that's the question from Kayla. Well, I guess it's not really a question. It was just a statement. But Kayla, we love you, and
we love you.
Even though we haven't met you in person, we kind of meet you.
We've kind of already met you. I mean, we've kind of already met each other because we've talked over the phone, Kayla. We've talked online. We've talked through this medium, and we're experiencing each other's lives through, maybe not physical contact, but we're still meeting up with each other. Of course, I do understand. There's some difference in physical, when you're actually with somebody in their presence, but still, I mean, we've met, so you'll be thankful for that. And I'm sure, you know what? I'm sure someday we could meet. Like, there's no reason that wouldn't be a thing. Plus, if you keep on doing what you're doing, your talent, with your talents and everything like that, keep on improving with your musical talent. I mean, there's a great chance that we could meet up. I mean, because a lot of times life takes you where your business endeavors are going, where you spend your time, what you spend your time doing, you know. So um, if you
Yeah.
if you're in the niche, I don't know how to pronounce that word. It's a weird word, of writing music or singing, then the chances of you meeting us is pretty high.
Apparently, oh wow. Apparently, Kayla's mom just walked in and watched a movie that has Ryan's twin in it. Would it be The Lord of the
Interesting.
Rings?
Yeah, was it? Wait, yeah, was it
Legolas.
Legolas?
Is it Legolas?
Oh, that's great.
Yep.
Yeah, yep,
That's what, Legolas.
yep.
Oh
That's
man.
funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because they actually designed that character after me.
They I'm sure. I'm sure they did. The pointy ears and all. See, you can't see his pointy ears
Mhm.
because of the headphones, you know.
That's right. That's why I always wear headphones. I don't want to reveal my true identity as Legolas's twin, because then they'll come find me and take me to Mordor, and I just don't belong.
Yeah.
That's a whole different fantasy world.
Oh my. Well, Ryan, what do you think? Do you want to
Sure.
take
I'm
a
going
crack?
to. I've posted the question that I needed to. I'm going to open up Kayla so I can kind of um, skim through it again so I can remember the gist.
Well,
Um,
while Ryan's getting the gist, I do want to tell everybody here that they need to go to BSS Studio and go to. I'm going to actually post a link to the fan covers section of Don't Worry When if I can
oh,
find.
yes. And you're going to show them. Kayla did an amazing cover.
Kayla,
Seriously, it's
yes,
incredible.
yes,
If you
yes.
guys haven't heard it, you guys should go there and listen to it because maybe after the stream or whatever, even right now, I don't care. It's really good. Like I was very impressed. You can tell she spent a lot of time figuring out how she wanted to sing each line, and she did a phenomenal job.
She did. Oh my gosh. Yep, I posted it, Kayla. I'm sorry I did. I posted the link, but everybody was going to find it anyway. And you've already gotten some great feedback. And wow, I am super impressed. She had another cover on there that she did, The Moon Rises. And that one you can find in that same section, the fan covers section. Oh my gosh. You can really tell, you know, Kayla takes great care in her production and in her performance and everything. It's just fantastic. So I do want to put that out there.
Yeah. All right. I reread through the questions, so thanks for that interlude.
Yes.
Well played. I don't know. Good thinking coming up with that on the spot. So Kayla, I think we've talked about some of this before. Parents parents make mistakes too. Parents say things they don't mean sometimes, or parents say the things that are on their head, but they know they shouldn't say. you know, um, we. I think it's pretty much human nature to think bad things about people, and then when you get pushed to a certain point or you're feeling a certain amount of stress or whatever, you just kind of let those bad thoughts out. Um, and so, I mean, it's unfortunate, it happens to all of us at some point or another. It happens to some of us more than others. But, there's not much you can do about what someone says. All you can do is react. And I think, that took guts for you to go around and ask your other family members if they felt fear towards you, etc. I suppose that's kind of like it's a brave thing to do. But yeah, I mean, all you can do in situations where you don't have control is react, and try to keep some semblance of emotional control. Um, you know, Emotional control being, maybe you feel the emotions, but you don't give into them, right? Or maybe you feel the emotions and you tell yourself like, hey, there's no reason I should be feeling this. That shouldn't have an effect on me. I'm just gonna brush it off and continue on. I'm going to force myself to smile in this situation and just try to live the rest of my day um, looking for something better to do with my time. But yeah, that sounds like, it's a tough situation. And, we've been here before. I'm pretty sure we've talked about this kind of stuff before. And I'm sorry that it's not getting better, or maybe it is getting better, but it's getting better slowly. Um, Again, I think it's important to just remind your parents sometimes that you love them and give them a hug. Um, it's um, it can help them calm down and help them see the bigger picture and not be so tensed up and lash out. Um, you know, it's hard because we all have these what do you say um, reputations. And so even if you're getting better, like, I'm growing as a person, I'm not doing this thing anymore, or I'm doing it less, I'm cutting myself less, or I'm coming at things with a more positive attitude more often. A lot of people don't see that because they're just stuck on the um, what they think of you. They're stuck on how they saw you before or the things that you used to do. Most people aren't necessarily seeing you in the moment or seeing you how you've struggled and accomplished things. They're seeing you for what they saw in the past, and they're not reevaluating, which is unfortunate. I think we all need to constantly, it's important, obviously, to hold on to the memories and think of people for the good things that they've done and build up a reputation about them in those things, and the good things that they do. But people are always struggling to get better and to get over their hills and mountains and become better people. It's hard. And so hopefully at some point your mom can start to see that and see how you've been working to improve who you are, and see your intentions, that your intentions aren't evil, that you want good of other people. Hopefully your mom can begin to see that and um, start to not see you based on your reputation, but you have to forgive them for doing that, because most people aren't mentally contemplating that kind of stuff. Most people aren't going, I wonder if I should reevaluate this person now that it's been a couple of weeks or months or whatever, to see if they're a better person. Most people are just stuck on whatever happened in the past because it hurt them and they didn't let go yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that your mom is probably hurt in a lot of different places for a lot of different reasons, and she's having trouble letting go of it all, and so then it comes out on you, and that's unfortunate. You said that's something else that's really been bothering me. I can't even get basic affection from my family anymore. I can't even get hugs. I had to pay my friend to Art to let me hug her. You had to pay your friend Art to let me hug her. Oh, okay. I got it. Well, I'm very sorry. Yeah. Yeah, affection is a very important thing. While especially, while we're growing up, physical affection is a very, very, very important part of our human nature. And I always encourage people to give people hugs because there's something built into each and every one of us by human nature that improves our lives on physical contact of affection. Like when we're babies, right? When we're babies, we thrive on that feeling of touch, of a hug, of being held, being rocked to sleep. That stuff is essential and crucial. In fact, if you don't allow a baby to have that physical connection with either a parent or the doctor or whoever, the baby actually goes into kind of like an anxiety attack and can die. And it's happened many times. In fact, for many years, it was happening until doctors figured this out. And they're like, okay, so now for the first like half an hour, the baby's outside, and breathing the air. We have to let it be able to hold on to the mom, because that emotional drive makes the life continue. You know what I mean? Like, if the baby doesn't have physical touch, it can die. And that's crazy. But that says a lot about humanity, because all of us are like that. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I feel very sorry for you for not being able to get that physical affection. I could live without it, but now, I'm a lot older. And
yeah, you are.
But the thing is, I know I can get it. I can walk up to my brother or my mom or anybody. If I need a hug, I can get a hug, right? And so, Kayla, sometimes you just have to force it. If people aren't approaching you, or if they're standoffish, sometimes you gotta be like, no, come on, seriously, give me a hug, please. I need this hug. Come on, give me a hug. And you have to be a little bit more forceful with your hugging. Or maybe just continue to pay your friend. Just kidding. That's kind of weird. A hug should be free, huh? But yeah, that's a struggle. But it doesn't last forever, and you'll find people that will give you hugs. And I hope that you can continue to keep the relationship with your mom open and forgive her, and allow it to get better, so that you can, build up that relationship with her again. If she doesn't want to, that's unfortunate, and it's going to make it really hard. But as long as you keep an open mind to the relationship building up again, then as soon as she's ready for it, it can happen. And it might just take a little bit of forceful affection. It might just take you giving her a hug, even though she doesn't want one. I don't know. Or she might not like that at all. But, sometimes you got to do something. You got to be a little bit forceful when it comes to that sort of stuff. Because people are like, oh, no, I'm not a touchy person. Like, I don't feel like it. Please don't, but sometimes that's exactly what they need to. And they don't want it, but it's what they need. But yeah, that's a really tough situation. And I'm sorry, Kayla. There's not much you can do, because you can't control what your mother thinks, or your father thinks, or what your siblings think, or what anybody thinks. You can't change their perspective, and you can't change their actions. All you can do is control your own reactions. And so all of this hopefully is building up some mental fortitude, so that you can take the mental beating, and brush it off. Someday you'll be able to just get insulted, the worst insult you've ever gotten, and then be like, yeah, you know what? Doesn't matter. That's all of this can help you. It can help train your emotions. Every time you have these emotions, they come at you, that's an opportunity to take a step back and say, well, hold on. Let's remove my emotions from the situation, and then make a decision. Because every time you do that, every time you say, oh, I'm going to remove myself from the situation, I'm going to remove my own motives, I'm going to remove my feelings that make me tied up inside and angry, or whatever they are, whatever I feel. Every time you're able to take a step back during one of those situations where you are emotionally conflicted, it it gives you a little bit more emotional control. And that goes a long way in life. I think that's one of the most important and valuable things you can ever gain for if you want to be able to live a happy life, you know, if you want to be happy, you have to have emotional control. If you want to be able to enjoy the world around you, the more emotional control you have, the more you're able to enjoy the world around you. Because if you have no emotional control, you end up just getting pushed left and right based on what other people are doing around you. And you have no, you're just along for the ride. And, there's nothing wrong with that per se, but how are you going to be happy when no one else is looking out for your happiness? How are you going to be happy when the people around you aren't concerned about your happiness and they're treating you like poopy? Right? Well, that's when you need emotional control, and you say, you know what, I don't need to worry about what their intentions are, or whether they are trying to make me happy or not. I'm just going to choose, because a lot of times happiness just comes from the choice. You decide. When you wake up, you're like, you know what, today's a great day. It hasn't even happened yet, but today's going to be a great day. I'm just going to have a good attitude the entire day, no matter what happens. And then all the bad things happen throughout the day. But if you retain that attitude of today's a great day, a lot of times people ask me, I remember in school, people would ask me, hey, how are you doing? Some days were good. Some days were not. But I would always say, oh yeah, today's a great day. Because it would be like a reminder, like, hey, how's today? How are you doing today? And it's like, whoa, attitude check. They're asking me how I'm doing. How am I doing? Well, if I was to be honest, maybe not so good, but I can change that in a flick of a switch. Just saying, oh yeah, today's a great day. I'm having a good day, because from this moment on, I don't need to be impacted by what's going on around me. I can choose my attitude. And I think that's the importance of emotional control. I always say I'm having a great day or something along those lines, because every time anyone asks, it's an attitude check. And I get to say, yeah, I'm going to choose to have a good attitude, regardless. Most of the time, though, honestly, most of the time, my days are awesome, because there's not really a whole lot to complain about.
Because you're static P, man.
Yeah.
You're the P.
I'm the P. Yeah, I'm the P. But anyways, Kayla, I just, if you get anything out of this, just be patient with the people around you. And all you can do is work on yourself. That's really the only thing you can do. Be patient and work on yourself, and build up that emotional control, build up that self-confidence. And that'll take you beyond your situation. That'll take you to where you want to go, because then you get to decide. Then you get to choose your attitude. You don't leave it up to other people around you or what they have to say. So just work on that. That's the only thing you can do anyways. You can't change what other people are doing. You can't change their thoughts. The only thing you can change is yourself. So just work on that. Not that you are messed up or need to be fixed or anything like that, but simply because that's part of what makes a happy life. And it makes your life enjoyable. So we never feel regret when we work on ourselves, whether we exercise or go through a mental battle and win, like, oh yeah, I did the right thing in this moment. We're never disappointed in ourselves for working on ourselves and trying to grow. And so it always produces good feelings within ourselves. So again, nothing you can do but grow from here, so yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna give the rest up to Joe and see what he has to add on to this situation.
Well, for starters, I would tell you to go back and re-listen to what Ryan just said a bunch of times, because there are a lot of nuggets in there, and just in how to think through this situation. And it brings me to the realization that what we do here on Don't Worry Wednesday, one of the things that I'm so thankful of is that we tend to every day we tend to get wrapped up into our own life experience. It kind of blinds us, to everything else that's going around us, because we're just focused in our own life. And when we do the Don't Worry Wednesday streams, it kind of forces us to step outside of ourselves and see the world from your eyes and from other people's eyes. And that is such a helpful exercise. And Ryan talked about doing that. He talked about the fact that your mom has a perspective all of her own, and she has a life going on, you have a life going on, every single person has all this life going on all around them from their perspective. And we get so drawn into our own, it's tough for us to relate to other people's life experience. But I told my son the other day, I said I said, he's like, well, you're a grown up, Dad. I'm like, yeah, you know what a grown up is? He's like, what's that? I said, it's just a kid that grew into an old person's body.
Yeah. I like what Shoni said earlier, because that relates perfectly. We're all just making it up as we go along.
Yeah,
We have no idea what we're doing.
so true. And I tell you, Kayla, so go back and listen to what Ryan said again and again and again, because there's a lot of tremendous insight. But here's what I would encourage you to do with this, because this hurts and it's stressful and it's painful, and I can just imagine the pressure on your heart and soul and everything that just is weighing you down and clouding your mind. I can just sense all of that. And I can remember this one moment. There was so much going on. This was years ago. We were in the process of losing our house due to bad finances, and we were in the middle of also recording an album.
I remember that.
And it was absolutely ridiculous. And just the whole everything that was going on with that whole situation was so hard, and there was a lot of denial, and there was a lot of anger, and there was a lot of stress, and there was a lot of just pain, and it was so hard. And I can remember that weight, the weight of all of that challenge just pressing down on my soul. And I went down into the basement studio that I had, a little makeshift studio, and I picked up my guitar and I played, because I was like, I gotta get this recording done, we gotta get this thing done. And I remember just pouring every ounce of all of the stress and the struggle, every little bit of it, I poured into my instrument that night. It was so late at night, and luckily it was an electric guitar that was silent because it was plugged directly into my computer, so nobody could hear it. But I remember, man, I'll never forget that moment when I just poured everything I had, and all of the pain, all of the challenge, all of the struggle, and I just dumped it all into this one little spot of this song. And every time I hear that, which I don't hear it very often because I don't usually listen to my stuff after it's done, but when I hear that moment in that song, I cry, because I can remember playing that. I had tears streaming down my face, like my eyes were all puffed out because I'd been crying for a long time. And I just, it was dim, dark light, it's just the moment was so real and powerful, and it made for effective music. When you can pour your emotion into music, because for you specifically, Kayla, because you're a musician, you're a singer, and your voice already carries with it so much expression.
For sure.
And when you pour all of this energy, all of this stress, and all of this pain, I can't wait to hear what comes through your microphone when you pour all of that into a song. It's almost like therapy. And some of the most beautiful art comes out of some of the most dark moments emotionally. I remember having that happen with another band I was in, the same thing. I went through a really hard breakup, and it was very painful experience. And I wrote some of the best songs I've ever written in that time, just because I poured everything I had into writing and everything I had into creating music. And I'm telling you, Kayla, it does not feel like a gift to be handed pain and struggle and this emotional torment. But years from now, when you look back at what the fruit was, if you can take this energy and pour it into something productive like music, you will look back and you'll realize that it was a gift. You know, it's hard for us to unwrap these gifts, the painful ones. But from that, and that's, you know, people ask why, if God exists, why is there such evil? Why is there such pain? And it's because what God does is he allows that evil so he can bring a greater and more beautiful good out of it. It's a greater good than ever would have been before if the evil hadn't happened in the first place. And so it's really hard to think about that stuff when you're in the middle of it. I understand that, Kayla. And so that's why what I'd encourage you to do is just pick a song you love and belt that sucker out into your microphone and just let every ounce of energy you have with regard to this situation, pour it into that microphone. And I'm sure that you'll be happy with the result. I know we will be. I'd love to hear what comes from that. But Kayla, I'm so sorry. So sorry, because I know it hurts. Really, you're in my thoughts and my prayers. And, I love seeing you come back to Don't Worry Wednesdays. And I love seeing you on the website. And yeah, I just hope that, some of that can help. So we love you. And so, yeah, hopefully that can help. So.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, and you've been listening to Sail On. Hey, good, I'm glad. It is a happy, upbeat, fun song.
I really like the beat of that song.
I just like the video because it reminds me of the days that Ryan and I spent out getting great footage of Michigan.
Yeah, that was a great time. Unfortunately, I was like, we should do it again sometime. I'm like, oh wait, no, that's not. It's getting cold.
It's getting cold now. Yeah, it's gonna be cold.
But although it was about this time of year that we did it.
It was. Yeah.
Okay, so
anyway, thanks, Kayla. Thanks for the question.
On we go to Senna's question, I believe.
Yes. Which one is Senna's?
So if you go to Don't Worry Wednesday, you can see Stuck in a Toxic Friendship. Now it's quite long, quite lengthy, which is good. Um, um, we can read through it if you want.
Well, we can probably paraphrase it a little bit.
Paraphrase. Yeah. Oop, I clicked on something. Okay. Um, ultimately, they're stuck in so they invited a friend over to live with them because their friend had a really bad relationship with their mom at home. Their mom was not a very good person to live with. So she, out of her kindness, Senna invited the friend into her home, and now they live together. Well, her friend, a girl, by the way, has become quite toxic, in the sense of, for example, this is an example she wrote. She would say something like, we really need to do laundry. I've been having to do it at my mom's. Her friend would say that, because like, they need to do laundry. They don't have enough money to do laundry, because Senna's paying for everything because her friend is not really helping out with the money situation. I think her friend has a job, but she's spending all of her money on other things, if I remember correctly. But anyways, an example is, her friend would say, we really need to do laundry. I've been having to do it at my mom's. And then she would reply, well, it's really hard supporting both of us sometimes. And then she would say, or her friend would say, yeah, I know I'm a horrible person. I should just kill myself, and stuff like that. So responding really intensely to those situations, and constantly talking about suicide. And so Senna's having a very hard time dealing with this person. And she has quite a few stories, and of course she doesn't even touch the edge of all of it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure there's thousands of stories. But anyways, that's the preface. She's living with a person who is kind of dragging her down, always threatening to commit suicide, and that takes Senna away from her job because she threatens suicide just before Senna's trying to go to work, and then Senna has to be like, okay, I'm going to call in because I need to protect you, and then she has difficulties at her job or things like that. And she's constantly getting dragged down by her friend, who has a very poor outlook in life, and it's very unfortunate. Now, Senna's been an awesome person for dealing with this, but yeah, hopefully I gave you the brief good enough. I mean, it would have been just as fast to read it all. At this point. I mean, there's a lot going on here, so.
Sure, that's a tough situation, and no. First of all, Senna, thank you for posting, and thank you for feeling free to explain this. It's a complex situation and a difficult one. Sometimes, your friend can probably be in a little bit of a hopeless state. It sounds like feeling hopeless, not necessarily that, that she is hopeless, but that's how it sounds like that's how she feels about everything. And so it's really hard because we kind of get caught in this downward spiral when we're in that hopeless phase. And so this I'm just kind of giving you this context. Maybe it can give you a little insight in what's going on in your friend's mind. Because right now, you have all this going on, and it's kind of like you're responsible for this person because you're paying for a lot of the stuff, and you're helping with all these things, and it really says a lot about your character, how much you care for this person, even amidst the challenges that they're presenting to your life, which is incredible to me. So many people I know wouldn't even care anymore. They'd just be like, fine, go, whatever. I don't care. You're costing me money or something, all these kinds of different things. But it makes me sad that you have to go through this. But at the same time, this experience can help to build you as well. As far as your friend's concerned, sometimes, there never is any shame in seeking professional help. I will say that. And that may be a route.
She actually said something about that in her thing.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
Oh, the counselor is nice. Okay.
Oh, did you just read it?
Yeah, I'm reading it right now. Go to second. Counselor was nice, but focused on me and told me I could call her anytime. Okay. So sounds like Senna went to see a counselor.
No. Well, yes, but she, I don't know, maybe I had this dialogue with her outside of that, but she had to call the police several times.
Oh.
And one of the times she called the police, they did get a counselor involved, and she basically said, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to go see a counselor. I'm not going to see professional help. And so then the person said, well, okay, nothing I can do to someone who won't see me,
Mm-hmm. Yep. I don't know. I mean, sometimes in a situation like this, you might be able to get creative. If there's a different living situation available to you, then perhaps, you could move in that direction, and then the living situation you're in could just kind of dissolve, not necessarily, not like you're like saying to this person, hey, I need you to leave. It's just like, hey, these things are working out. I really can't afford the place anymore, so I need to move somewhere else, and whatever, that's an option. There are different ways to be creative and tactful, so you're not directing, the situation at that person. A lot of times, we can there are some people who take offense to just about anything. And so in those moments, you really, really have to try to direct all the bad at yourself. Like I was mediating between two people not too long ago, and I mentioned something. I was like, hey, whoever the bigger person apologizes first. And so then it was a contest to see who apologized first, because they wanted to be the bigger person.
Yeah.
But it's, yeah. Above Average Joe told you to switch apartments. I couldn't manage to do that. Yeah, it's it's tough. I'm so sorry. You feel stuck. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, eventually though, it's probably going to get eventually, if it continues, it's going to get bad enough and something's going to explode, because
I'm sure you've experienced explosions before, but then there will be a very big explosion that
Yep. And you're dealing with a person who's depressed, and I'm a really, really huge proponent of Dr. Viktor Frankl and his theory. Well, actually, I don't know if it's a theory. I would consider it a fact, but it's logotherapy is what he proposed. And logotherapy is the therapy that tries to help people find a purpose. It doesn't have to be like a big, huge life purpose, although that's ideal. But some kind of a purpose to continue, something beyond themselves to strive for, something beyond themselves to look forward to. You know, this guy, Dr. Frankl, he was Jewish, and he ended up in a concentration camp in Nazi Germany, and he survived these death camps. And he noticed, he was kind of watching the prisoners, and he could tell the people who had a reason outside of the camp, to go on, they're the ones who survived, because they were like, yep, they had a purpose. And so he started to do this once the war was over, and he started his practice again, and he started, helping patients. He figured out that this was a way that he was helping people who were severely depressed. It's like he would just help them to find a purpose. What do they like? What are they into? What do they always dream about? All these different little things, and then trying to help get them moving in that direction, or help at least looking forward in that direction. So when we're in a pit of despair, we don't want to look at any of that stuff. So sometimes you got to start small. But to help this person out, maybe it would probably smooth out things a little bit more if there was a purpose to kind of just get the ball rolling. And then I feel especially sad for this person you're describing, because when we don't contribute, that just adds to our lack of self-confidence. It just drives us down even further when we don't contribute, when we don't take care of ourselves, when we can't, we don't feel like, we're freeloading or whatever. It just attacks our self-confidence more and more and more and more, and it just drives the depression further. And it's so hard. But I mean, if there's a way for you to, I don't know if demand is the right word, but to encourage, some helping around the house a little bit, I know that's a tough situation.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know the person, so I don't know how to direct, anything. I'm not sure how to motivate this person, but I can tell you just objectively from looking at the situation, there's some things going. Like, it sounds like this person's despairing. They don't have much of a purpose focused in their mind right now. They're not thinking about a purpose. And also, because they're not contributing, that also is driving it further and further down. So, boy, I'm going to hand it off to Ryan. And
yeah,
he has a great heart for this kind of stuff.
Well, I mean, I have to give it to Senna putting herself in this position. And I love what you were saying about logotherapy, because I think, I have two solutions to this problem, Senna. One is the long and hard route, and the other one is the quick and really, really hard route. So what Joe is saying, it is hard to find examples, but I've got some really great starters for you to help do exactly what Joe is talking about, helping people find purpose. Start in the moment. I often recommend this to people who are trying to help other people. A lot of times when we're trying to help other people, they don't want to listen, or they hear you and then they just don't do anything you said. And so a lot of times, in order to help those people, the biggest hurdle is actually what Joe was talking about, all of that. This is what you do. This is you have to make them feel like they're respected, and you also have to make them feel like they're important, and their input is important, and their whole being is important. And how do you do that? Easy. It's actually easy. Ask your friend this. Hey, I'm trying to find some good music. What should I listen to? Something as simple as that.
Ooh, that's good.
Suddenly, she's like, oh, wow, she wants to know what kind of music is good. Yeah, let's see here. But and then then you'll start up a discussion, and it's instantly about something that that you are giving her the idea that is important, and she has something to offer. So just ask her questions that approve her importance, that make her feel like her opinion means something, and that the things she's been through in life add up to something she can give. So again, just asking, because ultimately what you're doing is you're making her feel important. And so, and like her thoughts matter, because only then will she start to move forward. So starting conversations by, hey, like what kind of I'm looking for some good music. Do you know anything? Or I'm looking for some good calming music. Do you know any good calming music? Or, hey, I'm looking for something upbeat, you got any suggestions? Whatever it is. Or yeah, I feel like my anxiety is a big hurdle. I'm not great at speaking, but I'll think about it as best I can. Yeah. I totally understand that too. And being in the situation you are with a toxic friend, it really doesn't pair well with any anxiety, because it really just makes it worse. Because then, you kind of just, one feeds into the other. He said, and when she's mad or tired, there's no logic to her when she's angry. So I can't communicate with
most people are like that.
Yeah. That's pretty common. Yep. But whenever there is a calm moment, or even just after a fight, if it's right after a fight, she'll think it really weird and be like suspicious of you. But to be able to pull yourself together to say, ask her a question that makes her feel like her opinion matters, start there. Because you are not ever going to be able to change somebody if they don't feel like their opinion is valued. If they don't feel respected, if they don't feel like they could change you, then they're not going to be changed by you. Like if they're in the position where it's like, oh yeah, this person's just trying to help me, then the last thing they're going to want to do is be helped a lot of times. But if they feel like they can talk to somebody who respects them and values their opinions and thinks that, like, if I'm trying to help somebody, it's important for me to ask them for help first. Ask them about a personal problem I have. Like, hey, I'm going through this situation at work. What do you think I should do? And they'll tell you something. They'll give you some advice, right? That one, that validates them. And two, that makes them think about life and figure out and start problem solving. So if there's someone you're trying to help, asking them a personal question about your own struggle that has nothing to do with them, I think that's important. Because you don't want to, is this some reverse psychology? You don't want to be doing stuff like that. You don't want to be trying to slide in the back. You should be transparent when you do this, but ask them how to solve one of your problems. Like, hey, I want some advice on this. Because only when you ask for their advice are they going to start to listen to yours. So, as just like Joe said, finding a purpose is huge, and it's really, really important. And those are the first steps to helping anybody. You have to help them understand that their opinions matter, that they're important to you. Because otherwise you're not going to get anywhere. So, one, ask a simple question that validates their opinion. Two, it's really the same thing, but ask them about a personal problem. Ask them for advice about a personal problem that you are having. And it can be something as silly as, what kind of food should I buy? Because I don't know. Will you go to the store with me? Help me pick it out? Because, or whatever. Whatever the issue is, whatever the problem is, you can ask them about it. It's not going to be bad for you, right? Because you don't necessarily have to take their advice, but their advice could be better than you expect. And a lot of times we learn through the words that we give, not through the words that we receive. A lot of times the mentor learns more than the mentee or the mentored. A lot of times the teacher learns more through the process of teaching than the student learns or picks up from the teacher. It's because we're working through these mental situations, even though they're not real or they're not applying to us. When we work through them in our head, it prepares us for the future and it changes our thoughts going forward. So, yeah, it's really hard, but it's something you can do, Senna. Just try to ask them about questions like that. That was my first suggestion. I'm going to read through your comments now because you have quite a few here. She works at a game store. Okay. She's complaining about her 4 shift. Oof. Yeah. 4-hour shifts. Yeah, that's not, yeah, that stinks. Yeah, you've, let's see. So I can't communicate with her well. Yeah. Okay, fights. Okay, something the reason. Yeah, you said that there's some inappropriate activities going on. And that actually leads me to my other recommendation that I have, which is the harder one, but the more probably better one. She wants me to basically do all the work of looking up recipes so we can analyze them all. But I don't have much input for that kind of thing. And internet recipes are weird and complicated a lot. Yeah, they are. Yeah, and you're busy, of course, with work. And I know that. Yeah, you have to be really strategic with money. So maybe the food example was a bad example. But regardless, asking her opinions, making her feel like they're important, that will help you in the door of her valuing your opinions and her valuing you as a person. Because she's not going to be the kind of person that respects before she feels respected. And you have to put in a lot of effort for her to feel respected. Even though I know you've done so much, she doesn't see it, or she does see it and it makes her feel guilty. So you have to start from ground one, rebuilding the friendship. And I think the best way to do that is ask those simple questions. Hey, what's your advice? Hey, what are your opinions on this? Be interested in her and the things that she has to offer. Because if you're interested in the things she has to offer, now that'll encourage her to start to offer more. But anyways, here's my second advice. And this is, I'm going to tell you a story about my mom. So my mom married a man who he had a job when they got married, but then he lost his job. And then he just stayed jobless for a couple of years or something. Or maybe it was only a year. I don't remember, but it was a while. And my mom was working really hard. She had to pay all the bills. She had to do everything around, and then on top of that, this man would, my mom would write a note on the counter and say, hey, here's some, list of chores. Love, Mom. And this man would take that note and he would rip it up, write a new version that didn't have him on it. And it just had me and my brother on it. And then he would throw the other one away. And so then we would do all of his chores. And my mom was in this relationship and it only got worse and worse and worse until it finally just exploded. And by exploded, I mean, she caught him cheating on her. And she did not know what to do with herself. So she stood on his guitar, which did nothing because she's actually really light. But it stood on his acoustic guitar and he got really upset about it. And so he picked her up by the neck and held her against the wall by her neck, holding her up by her neck, no feet on the ground. He eventually let go. And then there was a lawsuit, or not a lawsuit, I don't know what you call it. a one of those things where like protective things, like you can't be within a certain foot radius of the person.
Restraining order.
Restraining order. Thank you. Yeah. She got a restraining order. And that's how that one exploded. My mom got married to a man without telling me for a while. What? Even though you lived with her. What? Who was entirely controlling and manipulative for a long while of my life. Yep. Okay. Yeah. So you feel that. Yeah. Yeah. So you've been there. Anyways, so, and this wasn't her first relationship that was kind of like that. In fact, so that wasn't my dad. That was my stepdad. Not my current one. He's amazing. My current stepdad is one of the sweetest, most amazing people that have ever walked this planet. But my real dad was also pretty much the same. He was an alcoholic. He did have a job, but he would save all of his money and spend it on boats and golfing equipment and fishing equipment and going out partying and drinking every single day. And so she paid for every single thing in the house. Everything, she owned all of it. She bought all of it. She paid all the bills. She made all of the food. She did all of the chores. He didn't do any of it. Except for maybe mow the lawn. But like one thing out of like everything, you know, every meal she cooked, right? So what my mom discovered after her second relationship, you know, two men that both basically did the same thing to her, she figured out that she was something they call an enabler. An enabler is someone who basically allows people to walk over them. And by doing that, the person gets in that habit of walking over people and slowly becomes a worse and worse person. What you're doing, unfortunately, by allowing your friend to have this lifestyle and taking care of her and taking care of things for her, you're actually training her to become more and more this person that not only do you not like, but she doesn't like either. Because I can guarantee she doesn't feel proud of the fact that she doesn't help out or that she spends her money poorly. And she probably hates herself for it. And what you're doing, unfortunately, is you're encouraging that because you're the one helping her do that. You're the one helping her have that lifestyle. And that's basically what my mom went through. But there's a good end to this. Both stories. Check this out. My mom divorced both of them. My dad went on to stop drinking, started getting medication to control his fits of rage and so on. And he started to work harder at a full-time job and make a life for himself and eventually start up his own company, creating cabinets. And it was moderately successful in doing that. He was forced into that because he had no other choice. But that abandonment gave him freedom. Because then he no longer had that crutch that was keeping him down. You know, imagine somebody who goes to the doctor and they're like, I have a broken leg, so the doctor gives them a crutch. And after their leg is healed, they continue to use that crutch. You know, they're actually slower on the crutch than if they just got rid of the crutch, but they refuse to let go of it, right? Your friend is capable of taking care of herself, and she's depressed. She doesn't want to, right? And you had talked about how her mom was terrible to her, and she's blocked out those memories, so she doesn't remember how bad it was living with her mom. I would suggest letting her go. And I said, this is the hard one. This is the hard one. but I would suggest kicking her out. When I told my mom, like, hey, I'm going to do music for a job, she lovingly helped me find a house, but kicked me out of her house. Said, hey, you can't be living with me, living off of my, work, living off of, what I do for a living. If you're refusing to follow what I've set before you, to go to college, to get good grades, to get a good job, if you're not going to do any of that, then I can't support you. And so you're going to have to go live on your own. And so she kicked me out of the house, but she did that out of love. And she said, and she helped me find the house, and she loved me. And I knew that she was doing it because she wanted to help me. That's tough love, but that's the love that moves people forward. She had experienced multiple times being that person who was a crutch and allowed people to feed off of her while she paid for everything and worked her butt off. She had been in that position, and she didn't want to be in that position with me because I was her child and she loved me and she wanted me to move forward. So she said, no, we can't have that. I'm not going to be your crutch. You're going to move into your own house. And so I actually moved in with my brother. But I had a job and etc. So if I was to give you my honest opinion, it's not easy, but the best thing you can do for her is stop being her crutch. If she has to move back with her mom, that's good. Because then she can say, oh, I can't deal with this. I got to find a different place out. I gotta leave. I'll tell you something. When people are fighting for their life, suicide is no longer an option. You don't see poor countries where people are fighting to survive commit a whole lot of suicide. You know why? Because it's the people who have time to feel like they have nothing to give, who are not worried about living their life, who are not worried about surviving. It's those people who oftentimes commit suicide. And so if you're worried about your friend committing suicide because you leave her behind, or rather not leaving her behind, you're really pushing her forward. If you're worried about your friend committing suicide, honestly, it's the best thing you could do for her, because when people are kicked out of the house or whatever, they don't generally just go, well, I got nothing now, so might as well just end it. No, they're like, I got nothing. And then they start to fight to survive, and then they start to build themselves up. It seems weird and backwards, but that's the way humans generally work. But yeah, let her move back. She's threatened you, like, I'm going to move back with my mom. Let her. That's okay. She'll see for herself, and she won't like it. And then be there to encourage her to find a place of her own. Be there to encourage her to find a better job that pays more, or that makes her work more than 4 hours, 4-hour shifts, right? Do it out of love, but take away the crutch. And I think moving to a different apartment and not allowing her to be there, or just having that stern conversation with her and saying, hey, you haven't really paid rent or helped me in a long time, so I'm kicking you out. That's really hard to do. Tell her you're going to go back and move back in with your mom. Because I don't want you to be in that toxic relationship and damage yourself, but even more so, because I know you can handle it. You can handle that. But the worst part here is the damage that's being done to your friend, because you're her crutch and you're allowing her to get away with doing these things that she hates about herself, that you don't like about her either. So you have to you have to show some tough love, and you have to force her to move forward. And that force is by removing your crutch, removing yourself. And I've seen it. It's effective. It's tough love. It works with me. It worked with the 2 ex-husbands my mom had. And it works all over the world. By forcing people into this extreme situation, they end up making it out ahead.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and it may be one of the hardest things that you do.
It's not easy,
but
it is not easy.
You will grow so much as a result of that.
That's true.
Of facing that, it's tremendous growth that happens through facing tremendous challenge, and you're in the midst of one, Senna.
Love you too, Bree.
Yes. So, yeah, listen to that over and over and over again. Ryan's just chock full of awesome nuggets.
I didn't say anything this entire time, except for like I just go on and repeat myself like 4 times.
Yeah, but do you repeat the important stuff?
Yeah, I try. But no, honestly, a lot of that is led off of the things that you say. So.
Well, I appreciate that, but man, yeah, that was good. And Senna, my thoughts and prayers are with you. This is no fun task.
Yeah,
but
it's not easy.
You can. This is a great opportunity for you to grow. So.
I hope you can find the courage it takes to push her forward, because I feel bad for her. That is no place to be, and it stinks, and I feel bad for you too. So I know you can do it. You just have to know you can do it. You just have to start the conversation, and it's not easy. But it will change her world. A lot of times we long for something to change us, right? We're like, come on, something please happen that just fixes my scenario, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when those things actually happen, we hate them. We're like, what is this? Why you got to throw this problem on top of what I'm already dealing with? Like, this is crap, you know?
You were just asking for that, actually.
Right, yeah. You just asking for something like life-changing? Well, this is the explosion of life-changing stuff. Like, this is what you asked for. What I wanted. Yeah, we don't want it, but that's what an explosion, pressure, compels us forward.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that works in physics and in reality in this weird life situation. An explosion compels you forward. So, yeah. Good luck.
Good luck.
God bless.
Yes.
So,
Haley, I'm glad you're getting to the point where you can play through it.
Yeah, congratulations. I'm happy that your practice is paying off on the piano.
Yeah.
Not smoothly, but hey, you know what? Just keep going.
And I'm proud of your resolve to say, I'm going to try. That's awesome.
Yeah. Stress is making you irritable. Yeah.
That's kind of normal. Yeah. A lot.
You know what? When you feel that stress, when you walk away from the piano, just try to remember to drop it and just be like, you know what? Yeah, drop the piano. Yeah. try to remember to make a mental note to drop the thoughts.
Oh yeah.
Drop the stress and be like, well, I'm done with it. I can't practice it anymore right now. So whatever. It is what it is, you know. It is what it is. It is what it is. I think that's a line that I use a lot, you know, because it's just a good line. It is what it is. You just can't change it. It is what it is.
It is a great line. I can't say that around my mom because she hates it.
Oh.
So I just have to say, it's what it is.
It's what it is? No. No, see, if you're going to shorten it is the first time, then you have to shorten it the second time.
It's what it's.
Thank you. See, and that's actually something I've done before. It's what it's.
It's what it's. It's
It's
what
what
it's.
it's. Yeah, it doesn't sound bad. It sounds really weird if you actually. It's what it's. And now that's like that doesn't sound like a sentence, and that makes me like almost hurts me inside. It's what it's. Ugh. It's like
Yeah.
cringy. But if you say it's what it's, it doesn't
What it
sound
is.
so bad anymore. It's what it's.
Yep. We'll see. Well, I'm gonna try that next time. I'm gonna be like, it's what it's.
Oh, that's great. Rashoni says a good stress relief for being frustrated with any instrument is also to have a convenient drum kit to just flail on for a while. That's
Yeah,
true. That's
yeah,
hilarious.
that's great.
Unless you're frustrated with the drums, then go take a breather.
Right.
Go pick up a sword and just start swinging it around.
That, yeah,
No, that
that can
sounds
be
terrible.
dangerous, but so be careful with your swords.
Go for
Um,
a run. I'll tell you what, a run clears your mind. If you're feeling stressed out, if you're feeling like, oh man, if you've got a moment of time and you're feeling irritable over the piano, you're stressing out, Haley. If you've got a moment of time, take a small jog. Just take one jog around the house, or maybe like jog around the house like 3 times or something,
mm,
or walk a block. There's a lot to be said about just spending some time with yourself while exercising, and yeah, getting yourself in the right mood.
or run in place, or do jumping jacks, or there's all kinds of great things
Mhm.
you can just do inside in one place that something that gets your heart pumping faster. It really relieves stress. It's awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. But man, I feel kind of bad, but I think we're probably gonna have to end it after those two tonight.
Yeah,
We had some pretty in-depth discussions tonight.
no doubt.
But man, you guys really have some amazing stuff going on.
Mhm.
And so there are a couple, at least one that we didn't get to, maybe
Well,
two that were still in the chat.
yeah. Well, it is
Um,
late night, but
yeah,
we
but we
started
will be
late.
back on Friday. Are we back on Friday?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Unless you're doing something.
I think Friday would be good.
Okay.
So yeah. Yeah, on Friday we can hang out with you guys a little bit longer and handle a few more of these things. But wow, thank you guys so much for coming and for sharing and for being a part of this and for encouraging in the chat.
Yeah.
Again, I know I haven't said that. I've forgotten to say this the last few times, but just looking through the chat and seeing how all of you guys help each other out is so amazing. You guys just are so impressive. And, go over to bss.studio. If you're not there already, a lot of you are. And you're already contributing and there, and I get messages from you guys, and it's so great to hear from you, and to interact and get to know some of you better. So I feel so fortunate that I know you guys at the level that I do. And
Yeah. Yeah, it's
you guys,
pretty amazing that we all come together here and we share our stories and we learn about our human experiences, and we build each other from that. That's beautiful. That's amazing. Um,
mhm.
and so we appreciate you guys being here, giving your input, and all the stories you've shared with us, and it's just great. So thank you guys.
Yes, thank you.
Oh my
You
gosh,
guys
mi
are awesome.
cumpleaños es en sábado y nadie lo celebra. Cute face.
Uh,
That's Spanish for um,
It's for something.
Words. It's a Spanish sentence, guys. You know that.
I don't speak Spanish. My kids probably could read it.
Anna could probably read a bit of Spanish, or maybe she's really fluent in it. I don't know. Anyways, by the way, thank you, Jesse, for being our host today. And we have a word from our sponsor, Joe. What's the word?
Oh
Who's our
man,
sponsor today?
I forgot it. I even knew it.
Oh, did you?
I knew the word from the sponsor and I forgot it.
Oh, oof.
Hippopotamus.
Hippopotamus. My lyrics
So-
hippopotamus.
Yes. And I hope I didn't get copyright infringement on that one.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Well, there goes our industry.
Oh,
Can't be entertainers anymore, you know.
Oh well.
Tie us down, you know. Okay. Anyways, see you guys later. We're dragging it on.
All
Have
right.
a wonderful rest of your evening and a beautiful life from here on out. I won't accept
Yes.
anything otherwise.
And then come back on Friday.
Yes. See you guys on Friday.
All right.
Peace.
Bye, guys. Love you.